It's your boy Malintent. We have just received the gem information. Well, everybody's been waiting on because there's some gems in here that we really want to know about. So we're gonna go over these gems, kind of try to figure out what's going on with the gems and how they funky they made them. Okay. So first and foremost, let me roll through this and see if they. Okay, so this is all the gem information. Oh yeah, this is just the rewrites on what the gems are. Alright, I don't see my new gem in here, so let's just go from the top. Let's break it down from the top. Number one, we have something called Superior Steel, Splitting Steel. It's the new Splitting Steel configuration. I would say that I would play it, but then I'd be lying to you because I have no doggone desire to play splitting steel. But that's okay. We've got Superior Blazing Salvo. Alright, so fire projectiles in an arc. It's 162 to 243, 6 additional projectiles. Increased area of, and then 10% increased area of effect. So that its effective added damage is about 40%, so it's not that bad. I can't say that it got me jumping up and down for joy, so we just go ahead and call that one what it is. The Superior Crackling Lance, that's that one that you shoot off and it's goes in a cone and you keep shooting it and it pops into a laser beam. That does seem interesting. It's got a pretty nice amount of damage, 246 to 737. The spell loses 1 intensity every 0.25 seconds while moving or immediately if you teleport. It's got a 10% chance to shock enemies. I kind of would prefer a little bit more. Plus 2 beam width per intensity, 33% less branching angle per intensity, and a 30% more damage with hits and ailments per intensity. Okay, so you keep going up intensity and it racks up. So you would probably go up by 120 points if you stand still, and you also take that extra intensity, no, because I think we go to 4 now, or did we go down to 3? If we go down to 3, then you're only doing 90. If we're still at 4, then that's 120. All right, next one, Superior Flame Wall. So the Superior Flame Wall, of course, we were talking about the damage that it would do if you shoot through it. So it deals 456 base fire damage per second. Secondary debuff deals 1,825.2 base fire damage per second. That secondary damage isn't a joke. Base duration is 4.9 seconds. Secondary base duration is 2 seconds. So within 2 seconds, you're going to take 1,800 points of damage. That's nice. Modifies the spell damage applied to the skill's damage over time effect. 10% increased area of effect. Wall will last 59 wall will be 59 units long. Maximum flame walls at a time is 3 and adds 78 to 117 fire damage. Now, that's an increase to damage for the fire when you're firing through it. Like fireball going through it is going to be horrendously good. But each enemy that enters that wall also receives a secondary buff, burning buff, which persists for a short period after leaving the wall. Any projectiles firing through the wall by you and allies deal added fire damage and apply the wall's secondary buff on hit. So shoot through the wall, you hit somebody to almost 2,000 points of damage. So it's 1,000 points, almost 1,000 points a second. That's actually pretty nice. Pretty hot. I'm going to use that. You heard me. I'm using it. All right, so the Frost Shield. I kind of like the Frost Shield of what it says it's going to do, or what they said it was going to do, but this will break down to determine if I like it or not. Duration is 10 seconds, so you cast it, it gets 10 seconds. It's a 5-second cooldown. So even with second wind, it's going to be a pretty lengthy redo. So 20 seconds effects on cold ailments. 20% increased effect on cold ailments. So that's all the ailments: brittle, cold, freeze, and cold chill effect. 20% of damage dealt to you and or allies in the area with hits by enemies in the area is taken from the Frost Shield, Life Before Your Life, or Energy Shield. Your life or Energy Shield. Okay, got it. 60% of damage dealt to you or allies in the area with hits by enemies outside the area come from the Frost Shield's Life Before Your Energy Shield. You gain 0.338 to critical strike chance per stage while in the area. Frost Shield has 910 maximum life per stage. You can have 4 stages. Gain 1 stage every 0.3 seconds while you are losing energy shield. So I got a question on that. Does that mean I turn it on and I hold it and then it gains stages and I stop it? Or does it mean I cast it, it'll eat my energy shield until it takes damage. Then when it takes damage, it'll then stop. How does it get its stages? Okay, so that's not something I'm gonna be running after. Cause if it can't tell me how I get my stages, I don't even know. It's not a channeling. Doesn't say channel. Doesn't say any of that. Place on 1 second or until you run out. Hold up. There you go. Place a Frost Shield that drains your energy shield for 1 second or until you run out, gaining stages while this drain occurs. So for 1 second, it'll gain an energy shield. A stage. So you would have to, I don't know. So the maximum shield you can get is 3 unless you actually lower it so that it actually gets the shield faster. That's going to be interesting. So second wind is going to give you faster recovery, but will it also give you, would that mean you need to do faster cast or something like that to get those 4 constantly, 4 stages? All right, Hex Blast, Superior Hex Blast. Deals chaos damage to a single enemy, dealing more damage if they are hexed. Then removes the hex with the highest doom. If a hex was removed this way, also deals area damage to other enemies around the target, boosting damage and removing hexes from from those enemies in the same way. So you get 800. Maximum 862 chaos damage, 10% increased area effect, 25% less area damage. All damage can ignite, freeze, shock. Chaos damage with hits is resisted by lowest resist instead. 35 more damage with ailments per 5 doom or hex with most doom. 50% more damage with hits per 5 doom on hex with most doom. Removes hex with most doom after damaging. Seems like that's going to have a lot of calculation. Affected the added damage, 130. Okay, so My question on that one is, and this is my question on that Hex Blast. So can I cast have increased duration curses? I would probably throw temporal chains and enfeeble out there. Because you throw enfeeble and temporal chains out there, there's gonna be harder for them to be able to hit. Plus, you get a little bit increased boost from it, and then you just blast. Cast one, cast the second one, then blow one up, then cast another one, then blow another one up, and kind of flip flop between trying to keep everybody with two and blow everything up at the same time. Might work, might not work. It's a questionable playstyle for me. I don't see how I would be do it. This is the one that I've been waiting on. Sigil of Power. Place a sigil on the ground which grants a buff to you and allies in the area around it. For a duration, the sigil gains stages as you spend mana in its area, making the buff more powerful. You can only have one Sigil of Power at a time. I have no problems with that. Cooldown is 10 seconds. Oh my lord. That's a long time. 10 seconds. How big is the radius on this thing? Because if I can get the radius pretty large, you can't use it as I'm going to destroy packs or stuff. But you could actually still use it though. Alright, so gains a stage when you spend a total of 400 mana while in the area. 10% increased mana cost of skills while in the area. 10% increased area of effect. Enemies in the area deal 19% less damage while at maximum stages. Okay, so maximum 4 stages. Buff grants 7 to 141 added lightning per stage. So let's go ahead and count that out. 564 extra points of flat lightning damage. But you only get a stage every 400 mana. So Archmage could actually do it and it'd be usable pretty quickly. Because they can cast out and they can burn 600 points of damage easy in one shot. So you do one shot, maybe cast twice, get up to 1,000. That's 1 second. Then you can cast another 2 the next second. Get yourself up to 4 stages within almost no time. Catch a 500 extra points of damage, and you lower their damage. So it's not a bad thing. I don't know if that's gonna be. It's good. It's good. It's good. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. I just gotta learn how to play with it, because I would have loved to have the cooldowns lower so that I can actually cast it more often, but I will say I can live with it. It's not like the 100% this is going to be the most awesomest thing, but I definitely can say I can live with that. I can live with it. I'll be able to do something. Alright? So, now let's go ahead and look at this Void Spear. Oh, this thing looks so beautiful, but it's going to be so crappy. I know it. Okay. Create a Void Spear, which hinders enemies in an area around it, with the debuff being stronger on enemies closer to the spear. It also regularly releases pulses of area damage. The Void Spear will consume the corpses of any enemy which dies in its area. Can only have one Void Spear at a time. So, the cooldown on that sucker is 10 seconds. Half a second to cast, 10 seconds to cooldown. Alright, so 241 to 361 physical damage. Base duration is 5 seconds. So you can cast it 5 seconds later. After it's 5 seconds later it disappears. Then 5 seconds later than that, you can cast another one. Pulses every 0.4 seconds. So it's going to pulse for every 0.4 seconds, twice a second. 40% of physical damage converted to chaos damage. So 40% of the damage is going to be chaos. 10% increased area of effect. Enemies in the range are hindered up to 339 reduced movement speed based on the distance from the void sphere. So the closer they are to the spear, the slower they'll be. That's not a bad thing, but definitely not what I expected, not what I wanted. I was hoping void sphere would be around about 8 seconds. You know, get about 8 seconds, maybe. You know, if it was this at 8 seconds, I would probably be more happy with it, and I probably would knock it out a lot easier. Yeah, I would jump on it a lot easier if it was 8 seconds. Than 10. 10 seconds is hurt. You're gonna have to do some investment in lowering that, and then you can't guarantee that this thing is gonna do very much damage. Not to what you're really want to crank out. You can try to do Void Spear as maybe an assassin or a trickster, and get the chaos boost from the trickster side, or the assassin, and try to crit everything and boost the damage that way. It's still, that doggone cooldown is going to take forever. You got to get that cooldown recovery. And that's going to hurt you right there. Is that recovery. You can get that cooldown recovery down, but you have the capability to get some recovery. Can you? Where is that? Did they get rid of that? That's brand recall recovery, trap recovery. I thought there was a recovery spot on the tree. I'd have to look for it, because cooldown recovery is something that I would definitely want to get, because you'd need it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that support jewels. Superior elemental penetration support. Yay! That actually might do well. So on a normal, you're running and you do, let's see here. Definitely that's going to do well. Okay, so the reason why I say that is because of the following. That is a freaking awesome gem. That's a freaking awesome gem. Okay. The reason why I say that gem is awesome and it's a freaking awesome gem is because of the following. So, in my build, I'm doing 2 types of damage out of my thing. So I'm casting and I have 2 elements. And since I have both of those elements and I'm casting, I throw in either one. Let's just say I'm doing lightning cold, right? And when I hit, I'm going to be doing lightning damage and cold damage. That spell does lightning and cold damage. If I throw in lightning penetration, it goes through. I get better lightning damage. If I throw in cold penetration, I get better cold damage out of the spell. But because I'm doing 2, and you don't want to waste any of the other slots, You don't want to waste any of those other slots for any it's to waste any of those slots for you, because it's gonna, you only usually use one, because it's like either you choose one or the other. Throw that in there, and I have penetration on both sides, 32-32. Plus I get a 10% in elemental damage increase. So that's 32-32. I'm cutting through 32 and 32 on both, which is a big increase in damage compared to I'm just going to do 37 on one side or 37 on the other. Huge increase in damage there. Impending Doom support. Yay! The thing I'm never going to use. Supported Hex skills causing them to trigger Doom Blast when the Hex ends. Cannot support curse skills which are triggered or applied as an aura. As an aura? Huh. Triggered or applied as an aura. So you can cast one, then cast another. Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind. Okay, so what was throwing me off on that one was if I'm running and I'm casting it, and it always seems like mine's casting around me, not over on creatures in a pack over somewhere else, because of how I, when I use it all the time, because I usually have my cursor real close, and I was like, hold up, that's an aura. That means it's not gonna work. Nah, dumb thought. Let's just ignore that I even thought that. Trigger Doom Blast when the Hex from supported curses skills end. Then you have Doom Blast, which deals chaos damage in an area based on the amount of doom on a triggered Hex. The chaos damage is maximum 325 chaos damage, 10% increased area, 50% more damage per 5 doom on a Hex, and triggers this skill when the Hex from the supported skill ends. Alright. Superior Pinpoint Support. I wanted to use this until I figured out that it would never work in the build that I was running. Support projectile spells can you cast yourself. Cannot support triggered, vol, instant, channeling skills which reserve mana or used by totems, traps, mines. Cannot be modified the skill of minions. The build I'm playing is a manual cast. I'm not going to give that up. I like the manual cast. It just feels better in my opinion. Supported skills gain intensity when you cast them to a maximum of 3. Supported skills fire 1 fewer projectile per intensity. Supported skills deal 30% more projectile damage per intensity. Supported skills fire 3 additional projectiles. Supported skills deal 10% increased projectile damage. Supported skills deal 16% less projectile damage. Huh? You're going to give me 10, then take 10 away? Huh? Does that seem strange to you? I mean, give me 10. Oh, but I'm going to take 16 from you. Yeah, don't. That seems strange. Okay, so this we already knew about. They were doing this. They added the 5%. They removed that. Okay, so Enduring Cry we already knew about. They went to cooldown changed, and Endurance's charges will be different. Punishment, they made all of the complete overhaul on punishment. Vitality, they changed, removed the 1.65% life per second. Added in a 247 regeneration. They changed the mana reserve and the other one. Vulnerability, they made those changes, making it into more of a curse, I think. And then they did change Warlord's Mark, making it more into a mark. Lancing Steel, they made those modifications to make it better. Not a big thing. Phase Run, they added in stealth instead of letting it have the visibility to enemies reduced. Yeah, that visibility to enemies reduced was awesome. Okay. Superior Poacher's Mark. Superior Precision, Shattering Steel, Sniper, Temporal Chains. They didn't do anything other than... Hold up. Oh, they gave it a bigger radius. That's good. That's good. Ball Lightning, we knew about. They changed Bane around. Changed some of the tags. Clarity, they made a modification to. Less int is needed. Despair. Yay. What did you do? I love Despair. Oh, went down for damage over time. I don't remember seeing that earlier. I must have totally slipped that they messed up my Despair. Oh, here we go. This is the one I use on a regular basis. Curse all targets in the air, lowering their elemental resistances. So I like that. They just changed the wording and everything like that. Superior Enfeeble. Not worried about. This is the big one. Love this one. So damage, effectiveness went up. Damage went up. Duration went down. And impact every seconds went down. So you have less impacts. Now, there was supposed to be some overlap. Better overlap. So hopefully that area effect, 100% more area effect, so it actually hits things. So that's going to be my next build. Right after I finish, I'm going back to my trap build and should be running my trap build for it. So that's going to be my next build. Right after I finish, I'm going for that. Superior intensity support. Yeah, I don't care. Superior Awakened Hex and Predator. Ooh, Deathmark. Okay, yeah. So they changed Deathmark support to Predator support. So that's actually pretty interesting. So that is the gem changes that they have in place. It's going to be interesting. I can't say that I'm going to dislike any of them. I can say that superior elemental penetration support or elemental penetration support, gotta get it. Gotta put it in. I mean, just let's just break this down. Let's just break this down. So if I throw configurations, let's go ahead and get in here and look at. So I'm going to go at 30, was that 30 what? 32. So I'm going to negative 32. Negative 32. Negative 32. Right there. It jumped over 30,000 points of damage. No, that was 40,000 points of damage. From just putting in that one, negative 32. Negative 37. That's Actually pretty interesting. Negative 37 gives me about 25,000 less than doing negative 32 and negative 32. Oh, if I type in 32 instead of 23, there we go. So 37 is about 20,000 points 20,000 points difference between the two. If I put a 37 in and everything. Now that's not including a 10% increase to elemental damage. The 10% increase to elemental damage might give me another 5,000 maybe or so. So that's actually still a very decent gem. Very decent gem. Hope y'all like it. Y'all have a good one. This is your boy Malintent. Peace out.